Hello and welcome to Twin Watch 777. So today we're going to be talking about Liam and his dad has been released from ICE and they are now currently both of them back home. So let's go over here and shout out to Fox 2 Detroit. It says Liam is home. 5-year-old boy and his father back in Minnesota after release from ICE detention.
One of the faces of Operation Metro Surge is back in Minnesota.
Yeah, today, 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father, Adrian, landed at the MSP after being detained in Texas. Our Mary McGuire has been following this developing story for us. Mary, this is a case that has really grabbed the attention of people all over.
Well, and that photo of Liam Ramos wearing a blue bunny hat and Spider-Man backpack has become synonymous with ICE operations in our state and has sparked outrage across the country after he was detained with his father Adrian in Columbia Heights earlier this month. After a judge ordered their release from a Texas detention center, U.S. Representative Joaquin Castro shared this video of the little boy being walked out of the facility on Saturday night. A photo of Liam back in his blue hat and back on the ground in Minnesota was also shared by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Attorneys representing the Ramos family says they are in the country legally from Ecuador as they pursue an asylum claim, adding they have shown up for all of their court hearings and were held on civil immigration violations. Lawyers have also said the 5-year-old boy was used as bait during the immigration raid, a claim federal officials have vehemently disputed, saying instead the boy was abandoned by his father, who tried to run away from agents, and that his mother refused to open the door when they tried to return the boy to her.
Schools are prepared for any type of crisis, right? Not any type, because we could never have imagined this type of crisis. But there's daily fear. At this point, it's pretty clear. Even today, the ICE agents have been very active in Columbia Heights.
Columbia Heights Superintendent Zena Stenvik says she is overjoyed to have Liam home, but her thoughts are still with the 4 other district students who are detained at the same facility Liam was held at, who she says are here legally.
There are many ways, multiple pathways for humans to be legal in our country. They can be here on a fiancé visa, a temporary work permit. They can have, permanent residency and not be a citizen, but they are indeed legal. So the students that we're working with have had legal asylum cases, for example, like in Liam's case, for example. I've seen the documentation with my own eyes. And so to characterize these children and their family as illegal is a mischaracterization.
Stenvik says the anxiety being felt throughout their schools extends to students of every age.
Friday morning, I had 3 different teenagers get stopped by ICE just on their way to school. They know when our school start times are, they know when our school dismissal times are, and they circle during those times.
Now, it's still unclear when Liam may return to preschool. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said in an interview today that the Trump administration will appeal the judge's decision to release Ramos and also questions the family's account that they applied for asylum. Mary McGuire, Fox 9.
All right, thank you, Mary. And let's take you to the Minneapolis.
Okay, so yes, that is absolutely good news. Yeah, yeah, our voices were heard. So the brief it says Liam Conejo Ramos and his father Adrian Conejo Arias are back in Minnesota after a judge ordered their release from an immigration detention center in Texas. Liam and his dad were taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents in Columbia Heights last week. Lawmakers say they arrived in Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport on Sunday morning. So I kind of, you see how they like to twist the lies because they said that ICE is trying to say that they knocked on the door and tried to return the boy to his mother, but she wouldn't open the door. And I find that really hard to believe because in the first, when it was first reported, it didn't say the mother per se, but it said that a trusted adult uh, offered to take the child, but ICE decided to take the child instead of releasing the child, Liam, to that trusted adult. I'm assuming it was his mom. So, I mean, who else can it have been? Okay, so, and then following this, Liam Ramos returns to Minnesota. All right, Liam is home, and we are grateful to Adrian Castro TX for traveling to Minneapolis with him and his dad. And then we have here, welcome home, Liam. Beautiful. And then below that, yesterday, 5-year-old. And this is from J.O. Quinn Castro. Yesterday, 5-year-old Liam and his dad, Adrian, were released from Delhi Detention Center. I picked them up last night and escorted them back to Minnesota this morning. Liam is now home with his hat and his backpack. Thank you to everyone who demanded freedom for Liam. Absolutely. We were in an uproar. So here we go. Representative Jacqueline Castro. Um, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. J.O. Quinn Castro said he escorted the father and son back to Minnesota after picking them up from the Delhi Detention Center in Texas. Castro also thanked everyone who demanded their freedom. And so there's the little Liam and his dad right there. Yep, and his father right there. So this is so beautiful. Good to know that they are back home. So I'm going to read this. The family's attorney says the family is in the country legally as they pursue and claim for asylum. Okay, that word. The attorney said they have shown up for the court hearings and pose no safety threat, adding that they were being held for civil immigration violations. The attorney claimed that during the arrest, ICE agents then tried to use the child as bait, walking him up to the family's front door and having him knock on the door, asking to be let in. In the first report, it said that they used him as bait. He knocked on the door, asking if there was anyone. Trying to find out. The ICE agents were trying to find out if there was anyone else inside of the house. He wasn't asking to be let in. Okay, the other side, the Department of Homeland Security had repeatedly and voraciously disputed this allegation, claiming instead that Ramos had been abandoned by his father. Right, because when the report first came out, it was stated that his father jumped out the car and left his son behind. And so, for the safety of the child, ICE decided to detain the child as well. Okay, so they abandoned by his father. Yeah, this is what they claim. Who tried to run away from agents. DHH and said ICE officers tried to return the boy to his mother's custody, but claimed she refused to take the child. Why would she refuse to take her own child? Because he was just picked up by the father from daycare, and so I'm assuming they were on their way home or on their way to the house. Since they went to the door, so I'm assuming they had to be in a facility, in front of the house. Okay, ultimately, DHS said the father agreed to allow the child to remain with him in custody, like he really had a choice. DHS also claimed ICE agents cared for the boy during the operations. Okay, I wonder what kind of care they did. Okay, so again, shout out to Fox 2. Was it Fox 2 Detroit? And so now in the next clip over here, we're going to hear from the 5-year-old and father themselves. They speak out after they were released. So this is Good Morning America. Shout out for this news story. Here we go.
This image right here that got national attention, a small boy wearing a Spider-Man backpack, detained by federal agents in Minnesota along with his father. They are back home after a federal judge ordered their release in a strongly worded ruling that condemned the government's conduct. John Quinones spoke with the father and son, was on the flight back home with them. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Robin. It was a very emotional flight from San Antonio to Minneapolis. A father and son headed home and a family reunited. Feliz means happy, and that's how Adrian Conejo Arias and his 5-year-old son Liam are feeling this morning, following their release from a Texas detention facility, spending more than a week in federal custody.
Do you want some gifts?
ABC News exclusively joining the father and son on their journey back home to Minneapolis Sunday. Conejo Arias, originally from Ecuador, says they were arrested unjustly.
Es injusto que arresten a personas que solamente vienen a este país a luchar, a sacar adelante a su familia.
But now that they're going back home, Liam is looking forward to reuniting with his mother and his brother. The U.S. District Judge ordering the pair's release in a blistering ruling, writing that the case has its genesis in the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children. The judge, including the now viral image of Liam the day he was detained in his driveway, arriving home from preschool. Underneath the picture, 2 Bible verses, one of which is John 11:35. Jesus wept. Conejo Arias describing the conditions inside the detention facility as not great. They could not give him medicine? No le podían dar medicina?
No.
Alleging that Liam became sick while there and was denied medication. The father and son's detainment sparking national outcry. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE did not target or arrest a child, claiming that when agents went to arrest the father, he fled on foot, abandoning his child. El gobierno dice que abandonaste a tu niño. The government says you abandoned your son. I asked Adrian about that account.
Entonces lo único que hice fue gritar para...
He tells me he was walking a few feet ahead of Liam, trying to alert people who would come out and who could help them. He says, I love my son too much. I would never abandon him. The judge also taking aim at some of the Trump administration's immigration enforcement tactics, writing, administrative warrants issued by the executive branch to itself do not pass probable cause muster. That is called the fox guarding the hen house. Families of the U.S. Adrian Conejo reminds us that his family is in the U.S. legally. They filed for asylum, and they have a court hearing set for that later this month. But the U.S. Justice Department vows to fight that. They want to see this family deported.
Oh,
George.
wow.
John Quinones, thanks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so we got to keep that family, And also the other, I think it was 3 or 4 other people that is still in custody of ICE, and they are here legally. So our voices was heard when the nation cried out for Liam and his father. So that's the update I wanted to bring y'all. And shout out to everyone who had a hand in bringing this family back together. And so, yeah, all right. So I will see y'all in my next video. Okay, y'all be blessed. I'm out.